Number 15. Edson Barboza fights in the UFC Lightweight division. He uses a variety of vicious leg kicks, attacking his opponent's legs, slowing them down. He has won fights by TKO leg kicks where his opponents were unable to continue. His fighting style is exciting and definitely is a must-watch fighter whenever he competes. Number 14. Cody Garbrandt fights in the UFC Bantamweight division. He is one of the heaviest hitters in the division and definitely brings a lot of attention when he fights. His speed and accuracy is too much for his opponents to handle. He has finished 9 of his 10 opponents in his professional mixed martial arts career. Number 13. Uriah Hall fights in the UFC middleweight division. His unpredictable fighting style makes him an exciting fighter to watch. He uses wild spinning techniques during his fights. He has mentioned that he has learned some of his techniques from video games. Number 12. Joe Lauzon fights in the UFC Lightweight division. He has both great stand-up and a high-level ground game, and always puts on a show for the fans. He has the most finishes in the UFC Lightweight division, as well as the most post-fight bonus awards in UFC history. Number 11. Diego Sanchez fights in the UFC Lightweight division and is the Ultimate Fighter Season 1 winner. His wild, brawling fighting style always has the fans tune in for his fights. He has won the Fight of the Night bonus 7 times in his UFC career. Number 10. Rafael dos Anjos is the former UFC lightweight champion. He has an exciting fighting style where he uses his vicious Muay Thai, attacking his opponent standing up, and combines it with his wrestling to take his opponent down and eventually get in the submission. He always puts on a good show whenever he competes. Number 9. Carlos Conde is the former interim UFC welterweight champion. He always promises a good fight whenever he competes. His major strength is his brutal stand-up skills, where he tries his best to put his opponent away. He has won the Fight of the Night bonus 5 times in his UFC career. Number 8. Anthony Johnson fights in the UFC light heavyweight division. Whenever he fights, you will either expect a spectacular knockout or a one-sided beatdown. He possesses one of the heaviest hands in the UFC and can put the lights out with only one punch. He is definitely a must-watch fighter whenever he competes. Number 7. Donald Cerrone always puts on good fights for the fans every time he steps into the octagon. He has high-level striking and an underrated ground game. He always pushes forward and tries his best to finish his opponent. He has won the Performance of the Night bonus 5 times in his UFC career. Number 6. Robbie Lawler is the former UFC welterweight champion. His aggressive stand and brawl fighting style has made him a fan favourite over the years. He uses his violent stand-up skills to put his opponent away with his devastating knockout power. He has won Fight of the Night bonus 5 times in his UFC career. Number 5. Nate Diaz fights in the UFC lightweight division and is the Ultimate Fighter Season 5 winner. He famously submitted Conor McGregor at UFC 196 by a rear naked choke, which made him into a massive star in the UFC. He always puts on a great fight whenever he competes. Number 4. Nick Diaz is the former Strikeforce welterweight champion. He has very good boxing skills and a high-level ground game. He frustrates his opponents by taunting them in the octagon, forcing them to engage with him. He is a massive fan favourite fighter and definitely delivers a good show. Number 3. Ronda Rousey is the former UFC Women's Bantamweight champion. She uses her Olympic level judo to take her opponents down and finish them off with an armbar. 3 of her fights in the UFC have finished under a minute and is definitely one of the most electrifying female fighters in the UFC today. Number 2. Anderson Silva is the former UFC middleweight champion. He has the longest winning streak in UFC history with 16 consecutive wins in a row. He has spectacular finishes such as his front kick knockout of Vitor Belfort and his 5th round submission of Charles Sonnen. He is without a doubt one of the most exciting fighters in the UFC. Number 1. Conor McGregor is the UFC featherweight champion. He is the biggest attraction in the UFC at the moment. He does a great job of promoting his fights and is one of the heaviest hitters in the UFC featherweight division. He famously knocked out former UFC featherweight champion Jose Aldo in just 13 seconds in the first round at UFC 194. He certainly is a must-see fighter and brings a lot of attention to the sport whenever he fights.